need to learn from you. That saxophone player there, dude. I need to learn from you, brother, man. Holy smokes, he's incredible. That whole band was awesome. I loved it. Genuine smiles the whole time, man. And I love jazz, especially when it grooves like that and so progressive and so funky. And awesome. Hello, everyone, and welcome to The Sound. My name is Matthew, and I have today special guests. With me today, I have Evelyn Holland. Evelyn is an awesome singer-songwriter. She is playing in music with Keys of Solomon. Hello and welcome to the show, Evelyn.
Hi, it's probably about my 50th or so panel. It's I've been enjoying it the past couple months.
All right, and look at you, Kyle. You've got your display in the back digital, man. Cool. Yeah. A little bit more contrast maybe next time, but I can almost read. It says Kyle Walz.
Yeah.
How you doing?
Well, all right. Yeah. Actually, I used that live. I made that. It has when it rotates colors. I don't know.
Cool.
On my screen, it just went through some contrast, but it'll be brighter, and then as it changes, it's easier to read and stuff. But yeah, live, that always gets some attention.
Yeah, excellent, man. Excellent. And so, with my brother and sister here, we're going to have some good reactions today because The Sound Live is the show where we do music reactions and we share songs that we love. And also, you guys get a pick. That's right. Every episode of The Sound is a crowd pick that's picked by popular demand. This next Patreon request is going to be my pick because the only way to get my pick, the only way is either to convince me, which is possible, or to support me on Patreon. And so my patron, Michael Hickman, shout out, wanted me to react to this, okay? He has a personal connection to the bass player for this project. It's called The Groove Project. This is a bass player that he's been working with for a number of years and developed a pretty good working relationship. And the cool thing is that this song features one of my personal heroes, Dream Theater keyboardist Jordan Rudess. And so I am extremely excited. I was even a little bit deceptive to Mikey. Sorry, Mikey. He wanted me to listen to it, and I was like thinking, I want to react to this. And then he's like, okay, react to it. So I told him I listened to it, but like I didn't. I had it muted, and I just like I let a little bit of the video play and watched like a minute, and then I was like, yeah, I got to hear this, man. This is going to be awesome. This is a live distance collaboration recording session with musicians from all over the world. All right. And Mikey suggested this to me yesterday. So if you guys want to jump the line and you want me to do what you guys want me to react to, like I am for Mikey, he's top tier Patreon supporter. He gets next day service because I was streaming the next day. So patreon.com/Matthew's Music Lesson Studio. And without further ado, Musicians Panel reacts to The Groove Project, Into the Unknown, featuring Jordan Rudess. Here we go. to learn from you. That saxophone player there, dude. I need to learn from you, brother, man. Holy smokes, he's incredible. That whole band was awesome. I loved it. Genuine smiles the whole time, man. And I love jazz, especially when it grooves like that and so progressive and so funky. And awesome. What do you guys all think?
Yeah, it kind of, I don't know. Definitely had this R&B sort of vibe going on it was different. It was definitely very fusiony, with just because of the members of the band, and yeah, it was an interesting chord progression. It was very chill, laid back, but still, they had a good size sections where the the soloist would solo. I'm not sure if I like Jordan Rudess' solo though. It's
I love them, both of them.
I mean, I love Dream Theater, but I'm like, it's I don't know, I don't. It was mildly out of place. It was still good, but I mean, I'm not a piano player.
It was definitely composed. You could see on a couple of the angle shots on his tablet, he had full score for the piano written out for that entire song. Like, so what he was playing was composed. It was not
right.
The rest of the musicians may or may not have been doing some improvisation in their parts. May not have been exactly loops or whatever, cookie cutter sections, right? But Jordan he wasn't doing cookie cutter sections. He pre-planned every single note that he played. Like, every one of those runs was intended exactly where it was.
I'm sure it was. I was just.
You think it was just a little bit much for that style, like a little bit too notey?
I think it was a little too notey, or a little too shreddy. I mean, I like shreddy music and virtuosic music, but yeah, it was like the context was kind of like I don't know. I mean, I love like Mr. Bungle, and that's completely off the wall music, but supposed to be in this context, it's like I don't know. But yeah,
I felt like
my opinion.
I felt like it was a nice blend of like groovy jazz with like a little bit of attitude and some intensity. But I mean, I'm ADD, so I like stuff like that. What do you think, Kyle?
The thing that got me right off the bat was the mix. When I heard the sax come in and the rest of the band, I was like, there's something missing. There's something that seemed a little off balance, and it took me like maybe a minute or so to realize the way that the drums sat in the mix. It was mixed like you were mixing like an R&B, like pop R&B song, and the sax or the piano, like even though he's using more like an organ sound, the sax and the keys was more like a singer. Everything else was like a guitar, meaning it was way down and even, and that's why I started to listen for the drums and stuff. Yeah, you could hear it. You could hear the beater of the kick drum, which, people that don't mix music don't know. They think kick drum is just bass. No, you need that beater, or else you feel the bass, but you don't know where it is. You need that,
yeah,
way too.
It kind of blends in. I know what you're talking about. I've tried to mix kick drums, and I'm not very good at it.
Yeah, I usually run them parallel and have one for like sub, and then boost the other like around like 1.3K or something. Because you need that definition, or else you're going, I feel bass, I don't know where it is though. And speaking of bass, like in this song, the bass player was doing some neat work, and again, since it was composed, you'd assume that the other players are playing along to a sheet too, but you could hear the bass player doing some really smartly placed fills, like kind of slaps and pops and things, because
Definitely.
that like mid-rangey bass tone really fit in well. With the keyboard player, it was interesting because he was using his left hand to give like some chordal musical context. I was wondering how much like some of the mix choice would have overlapped the guitar, because the guitar was just kind of like a shimmer, low mid-range filler, as opposed
the
to
guitar was probably the lowest thing in the mix. If we had to like pick something out that was, could have been a little bit up, I guess.
Yeah. Well, and
it was very like I feel like the guitar tone was very Alan Holdsworthian, but in a like it was mixed way down, of course. I mean,
yeah.
like on Alan Holdsworth's stuff, it's way up high in the mix. But yeah, that sort of otherworldly, spacey sort of tone.
Yeah, and the last thing I was going to say is looking at the numbers on this, 1,000 views in about a month. That is outstanding for a jazz song. I released 2 jazz albums and even had 3 national articles, 0 sales, 0. So it's funny the world of jazz nowadays. I think even if you're in New York, well, maybe I shouldn't say even if you're in New York, because apparently people play jazz in New York and make a living for the most part, but I found that kind of funny, the state of jazz, as well as the rest of music, except for pop, hip hop and metal seem to be the only things that work pretty well.
I really, really enjoyed the sax player on this, though. Played the sax incredibly well. I loved your tone. It was, in a good way, it was like very like Dave Cosy to me, and I'm a big Dave Cos fan. I felt like it had that, smooth jazz appeal feel, like this is something that, I would listen to chilling out, driving down the road, or something, taking a jog, maybe, or whatever. It was just, I don't know. I loved your tone, and I feel like your altissimo was incredible. It was extremely masterfully placed. It sounded wonderful, and it wasn't overdone to look like, show off. Like it was just mwah. And like I said, I'm going to be studying and learning from you.
Other musicians pick up instantly on tone, like a trumpet. I think most people around the world know like that trumpet sound. You can tell instantly if someone has been playing like maybe a year or two or is learning, or if they've been playing decades, and same thing goes for pretty much all instruments, even drums. I can tell when a drummer first hits the snare, that first hit, it's like, oh, they know what they're doing, as opposed to like, oh, this is going to be a rough night.
Yeah, no, it's usually in the like it starts in the drums, and the rest, even like when I go to see a metal band, like if it's a local band, I'll be like super harsh and be like, yeah, it's kind of mediocre. I mean, their performance is good, but
We got new ways to support the channel. Exclusive weekly bonus content on Patreon. Patreon.com/Matthews Music Lesson Studio. We've got liberapay.com/Matthews Music, where you can donate weekly, and it's a non-profit, so I get the most money there as far as them taking no fees. Definitely, you can buy me a coffee right now. Buymeacoffee.com/Matthews Music. And also Venmo. Send me a tip on Venmo at Matthews Music. I really appreciate you guys. And go ahead and please
right now,
subscribe to all these guys' channels. Subscribe to Eve's channel. Subscribe to Kyle's channel. Make sure you mash that like button. Okay.
Hey, here's an idea too, thinking about what you said earlier. People use Spotify. Look us all up on Spotify, make a playlist.
Yeah.
You talked about Kilometro One.
Mm-hmm.
Help musicians out, because you get a couple handfuls of people that do that a few times a week. That does start to help after a while.